Tsushaki.
Hello fishies, my name is Tusharky, and today I'm going to show you my Dragonmaid deck. So, the Dragonmaids are a really good rogue deck, at least in my eyes. Not only do their myriad of monsters in their cast make you go ooh-woo, but they also have the ability to outground your opponent and to OTK them out of nowhere by using their dragon forms. So, let's take a look at the deck. Alright, let's go over this deck. So, for my Dragonmaid deck, playing 3 Parlors and 1 Lore Par. It's a shiny, okay. Then 3 Chamber, 1 Nurse, 1 Earnest, 1 Kitchen, 1 Tin Keck. And that is it for the Dragonmaid main monsters. Then I'm playing 1 Changeover, 2 Hospitality, 3 Tidying, and actually 1 Downtime. So, most people don't play Downtime, but this card is actually really good because it allows you to grind even more, and it also allows you to add any Dragonmaid card from your deck to your hand, as well as return a spell or trap your opponent controls to their hand for the low cost of putting a Dragonmaid monster back in your hand that you can use later. So, pretty good card. Suggest trying it out if you haven't. That is it for all the Dragonmaid cards. And now we're going to get into the extenders and the rocket engine that I play in this. So I play 3 Noctivision. I feel like a lot of people already play this card in like any Dragon Link deck. This card's really good, and this card actually has synergy with this deck because our little friend here actually has an effect that if your opponent targets face down cards you control, you can banish this from your grave, negate the effect, and then for the rest of the turn your opponent cannot target face down cards with card effects for the rest of the turn, which is like, I've literally never seen anybody like use that effect, but this effect is really good in this deck because you're going to have Tidying and Downtime set. So you can protect them very easily with Noctivision after you extend with it. I then play the Apps Router to send off of Dragon Ravine, the 2 Tracers, the Recharger to summon off of Tracer, the 3 Quick Launch to get the Tracer, World Legacy Guard Dragon to summon back any of the little dragons from the grave to extend even more, the Boot Sector Launch for Striker Dragon, the Dragon Ravine. This card is also really good in this deck and very flexible because not only can you send Apps Router for the Savage play, but you can sometimes also send Dragonmaid monsters to the grave to basically do more Dragonmaid combos. We then play everybody's engine that you can't play without, which is Destiny Fusion. Don't worry, we got the Verte too. And then I am actually playing hand traps in this deck. Playing 3 Ash and 3 Imperm. These hand traps can honestly be whatever you want. I just think these are the best right now for most decks. And then finally, playing 2 Cosmic Cyclone, which might be a little weird. Usually I only play 1 Feather Duster and maybe a Cosmic for back row because I always like having back row hate my deck. But I'm going with 2 Cosmic right now because Scythe. Literally just because Scythe is a thing. It's literally just because Scythe. Alright. And then for the extra deck, for the Fusion Monsters, playing 2 House and 1 Shio. Playing 2 House because you need to be able to summon House out in order for Shio to negate. And then of course we're playing Mr. Steer Girl DP himself to, you know, do DP things. Can't play without it. Gotta have it. For a Tracer, playing Savage going first, and then I'm actually playing the Tenny monster for when you go second, just because I wanted a Synchro monster to go into that was pretty good going second. This card can honestly be anything, and you could like replace this for like a Lynx monster or anything like that, but I just figured that this was like the best choice for me. On to the Link monsters, playing 1 Striker, 1 Guard Dragon Pitsy for the move play, 2 Spheres, 1 Berthe to summon DPE, run Romulus for Dragon Ravine, 1 Unicorn, 1 Boral Sword, and 1 Goddess. I will also say with this current list right here, cards you could easily replace in here. You could replace Pitsy. I like Pitsy in the deck only because if you've already gone through Striker Dragon and you need to put a little dragon in the grave to keep playing, you can also go into Guard Dragon Pitsy. But if you're not scared of that, you can always cut Pitsy for something else. You could also cut Boral Sword for something like Access Code or Avermax. I also like Boral Sword in this deck because you can make Boral Sword under Pitsy. And then you can also cut Goddess. I only play Goddess in this deck to out problem monsters, basically. Lastly, I'm going to go over the side deck. The side deck is, of course, completely up to your choice. This is just what I'm playing for my locals currently. So 3 Token Collectors, 3 Droll, and 3 Lancia. These, even though this is for my locals, these are probably like the 3 cards I would probably play in like almost all of my side decks, because these cards are really good against the meta right now, I feel like. Besides those 3, playing 3 Judgment for going first, 1 Feather Duster, and 2 Kaijus. Right, and now let's do some combos. Alright, so now I'm going to show you a simple 2-card combo. You can achieve this either using Parlor or Chamber, and you can get the same result. So with these 2 cards, first I'm going to normal Parlor and activate her effect, sending Dragonmaid Tidying to the graveyard, and then going to link her away to summon Striker Dragon. And I'm going to activate Striker Dragon's Chain Link 1, Noctovision Chain Link 2. This is very important so that you can chain block the Striker Dragon to make sure that you can search Boot Sector Launch, which is very important. So summon Noctovision and add Boot Sector Launch to our hand. Then going to link these 2 away and summon out Romulus. Then going to activate Romulus Chain Link 1 and Noctovision Chain Link 2. Noctovision is going to draw you a card, and Romulus is going to add the field spell to your hand. The card we draw, it doesn't matter. It can be whatever. Hopefully it's an extender. And then we're going to add Dragon Ravine to our hand. Then going to activate Dragon Ravine. Alright, there we go. Use Dragon Ravine's effect to send Absorber, and then use Absorber's effect to add Rocket Tracer to our hand. We're then going to banish Tiding to summon back the Parlor, and then link away Parlor and Romulus for Spheres, and then we're going to replace Dragon Ravine with Boot Sector Launch, and then activate Boot Sector Launch to summon out Tracer. You can then use Tracer's effect to destroy Boot Sector Launch to summon a Rocket from deck. We're going to summon Recharger, and then we're going to synchro these 2 to get Pearl Savage, use Savage's effect to get Romulus. And as you can see, just off of 2 cards, you can get a bounce / special summon and a negate. You'll usually use Spheres to bounce a card and then summon Nurse from your deck. And then you can use Nurse to bring back Parlor or Chamber, whichever one you started with. and that will net you another card and get you even more advantage. And that'll just off of 2 cards. So now, let's do some test hands. So for the test hand portion of this video, I thought, why not have the pilot herself show you what she can do with the deck. I made this deck for her, and she's been playing this deck for a little over a month, so she definitely knows more about the intricacies of this deck than I do. So she started off with Dragonmaid Hospitality, Tenkek, World Legacy Guard Dragon, Dragonmaid Tidying, and Apt Router. She's going to first activate the Dragonmaid Hospitality to summon the Tenkek from her hand and send Kitchen to grave, and then use the World Legacy Guard Dragon to summon back the Kitchen from the graveyard. She's then going to use Kitchen's effect to add Chamber to her hand, and then send the Chamber to grave, which is the other part of Kitchen's effect. She then links away the Kitchen to summon the Striker Dragon, and then is going to use Striker Dragon's effect to add Boot Sector Launch to her hand. From here, she's going to link away the 2 dragons on her field to make spheres, and then set the Tidying and pass. I give a little thumbs up here, and she gives a little thumbs down. This board doesn't really look as intimidating or as good as you might think, but it actually gives you a lot of room for a follow-up. Of course, as long as spheres doesn't get negated, which would be pretty sad. But as long as it goes through, you would be able to summon any of your Dragonmaids from your deck, which is one of the strongest parts about having spheres in your Dragonmaid deck. With spheres, you can summon Nurse, which will be able to bring back the Kitchen or the Chamber from your graveyard. You would definitely bring back Chamber, and with Chamber's effect, you'd be able to add cards like Dragonmaid Changeover if you want to make the fusion next turn, or Dragonmaid Hospitality if you need to summon more dragons on your next turn. You also have Dragonmaid Tidying, so after you summon your little Dragonmaid, you'll be able to bounce it to your hand to disrupt your opponent once again. So it doesn't look the best, but it's actually a pretty good field since you end on 2 disruptions, and it gives you not only blockers on your turn, but also follow-up. Along with the fact, we can't forget about the fact that all the big Dragonmaid forms have battle phase effects where you can put a Dragonmaid back into your hand to summon out a bigger version of the Dragonmaids. So doesn't look good at first, but is actually a fairly decent board. So let's take a look at the next test hand. So we're gonna shuffle this up real quick, draw 5, and it seems that she's started with Chamber, Ash, Impermanence, Quick Launch, and Noctivision. So as I'd shown previously before, you can do the 2-card Dragonmaid plus Noctivision combo with Parlor or Chamber, and that's exactly what she's going to do. So instead of explaining the combo, I'm just going to talk about why I'm playing the Rockets in the first place. So the Rocket Engine is really good in this deck because it gives the deck a little bit more push and gives it the ability to help you set up your Dragonmaids for next turn, which is kind of like what this deck was built for. Like, you can put the Dragonmaids into the grave. All the Dragonmaids give you pluses every time they're summoned. All the big dragon forms allow you to attack your opponent and add resources from your field back to your hand while putting things onto the field. And the Rocket Engine also gives you a way to push into, like, negate boards, and also gives you things for your opponent to negate. Like, you can just use the Rocket Engine to bait out negates, because, like, if they don't stop it, then, you know, you just get a Savage that can, like, negate stuff. So all in all, the Rocket Engine is really good in this deck and really complements the Dragonmaids very well. And I would definitely not play this deck without it. So let's look at the next combo. So this is the last test hand that we're going to do for this video. We're going to shuffle this up real quick, give it a nice cut, and see what we draw. And we're going to start with Tenkek, Hospitality, Parlor, Kitchen, and Ash. So it looks like she's going to normal summon Kitchen and use Kitchen's effect to add and send Chamber. She's going to link away the Kitchen to summon Striker Dragon. Use the Striker Dragon's effect to add Boot Sector Launch. Then activate the Hospitality to summon back the Chamber from Grave that she sent. And then use Chamber's effect. So she's gonna add Changeover. Which means she's going to be aiming to end with Shio for this board. So she's going to link away the Striker Dragon and Chamber and summon Romulus, and then use the Romulus to add Dragon's Ravine. She's going to discard the Ash with Dragon Ravine's effect to send Apsrouter, and Apsrouter is going to add Tracer to her hand. She's then going to activate Dragonmaid Changeover, sending Tenkek and Parlor from her hand to summon Shio. And she's then going to activate the Boot Sector Launch, and then use its effect on field to summon the Tracer from her hand, destroy the Romulus, summon Recharger, make Savage, and attach Romulus for negate. So this was a good example of having a hand where you can actually end on Shio. Shio is a very, very good addition to the Dragonmaid lineup. She has a very, very good effect that is, during the standby phase, she can summon a Dragonmaid from her graveyard. So you can essentially summon back a Dragonmaid, and then that Dragonmaid will get its effect to add a card to your hand or send a card to grave, and then during the battle phase you'll be able to switch out your Dragonmaids. She will also negates summoning out House from the extra deck, and House also has the effect that when a Dragonmaid is returned to hand, you can destroy a card. So all in all, Shio is a very good card, especially when combined with something like Spheres or Savage. And she definitely puts the deck ahead in resources when you're trying to have follow-up for next turn. But that is going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more videos or more in-depth conversation about how the Dragonmaid deck works, just let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay sharky.
通シャッキー